I wanted to talk about my reflections of recording, like being a host of the last few episodes of Community Insight. The last few episodes, and I will say just from like the last rerun on, so we had youth engagement, we had a couple different ideas of like family well-being, infrastructures, models, like the future of family well-being. We had AI and child welfare, and we had legal representation. I want to say, as the host, for some reason, I was like really self-conscious with some of these episodes. I overthought my role as a host a lot. I feel like going into some of these episodes, I had a really, really clear idea of what I thought we were going to be talking about. And in active listening and attuning to the guests, I could sense I'm trying to drive this conversation. Maybe I'm not meeting them where they are. And so like needing to shift while recording and really hear like what is coming out of this conversation, rather than like what did I have in my mind of what this conversation was going to be. And it really ties into, again, like what I talk about with engagement. Like engagement is a relationship. Engagement is determined by the end user. When you are in relationship, real relationship with someone, there's a mutuality. It's not, I have expectations of you and you meet my expectations. I'm going to call out one example in particular. Specifically, when I recorded with Sixto Cancel, I was actually really surprised. I was surprised that he brought up his lived experience, which was really convicting to me because I am an impacted leader. And when there is not space for me to bring my whole self and my impact in, I don't appreciate that, because to me, I'm like, it's so obvious that I'm an impacted person. And it was like, I did the same thing to Sixto that I feel like people do to me. Well, they're like, you're competent, or that was in the past, so why haven't you moved on yet? And I was like, oh, he's like the founder of Think of Us and he's successful. I learn a lot as a host, like while I'm hosting, while I am getting to meet different people and, you know, hearing their perspectives and their stance on many aspects of child welfare and community. And what I learned from several of the episodes, and including Angela as well, is people need their whole self to be seen, and they need space to bring their whole self. As a guest, they need space to bring their whole self every day. And I would not be engaging with the guests as a host if I were rigid to what I decided the podcast was going to be before I recorded with them. And people are going to have their different opinions, or like what their approach is to doing this work. But how beautiful is it where you can cut past all the differences, and like what comes out of someone when they feel seen and they feel heard and they feel that they are in relationship with the person who is talking to them.